There are 6 main signs that you have low testosterone. Men today have over 50% less testosterone than they had several decades ago. And the question is, why? What the heck is going on? It's not even just low testosterone, it's low sperm count, it's low fertility. We're going to get into the causes of this and causes that you probably have never heard before. Then I'm going to get into the solutions. Let's first start with all the different signs. Number 1 is breast tissue, man boobs. What the heck is going on with extra breast tissue in men? Well, it's an increase in estrogen as you are decreasing your testosterone. It's basically a feminization of a man because the ratios of estrogen are just way too much. Number 2, shrinking testicles. Another name for this is hypogonadism. The testicles are getting smaller and smaller. And of course, the testosterone is also getting lower. Shrinking muscles as well. Testosterone is intimately involved with making muscle. And if you don't have enough, it's going to be very difficult to develop muscle. Number 3, reduced semen production. Now, semen is not sperm. Semen is an extra fluid that helps to deliver sperm. Number 4, decreased body hair, specifically the beard, the chest, the legs, and even on top of your head. The skin becomes very shiny and soft without hair. Number 5, andropause. That's a situation where a man is getting hot flashes or night sweats. When I was in practice, I would have men come in with that symptom. And one time I even had a doctor who specializes in menopause come in with his main symptom being hot flashes. And he didn't want to take the medication that he gives women, which is hormone replacement therapy. Unfortunately, a lot of men go for Viagra. The problem is there's some slight minor complications, side effects like heart attacks, and even a side effect of prolonged erection. Number 6 is excess belly fat because you have insulin resistance. Testosterone does have an influence over insulin. It worsens insulin resistance, which means your body has to compensate by increasing more insulin, the fat-making hormone, and so now you're storing more fat than you should. And this ends up as excess belly fat. This is probably why a lot of young males, when they're 18 or 19 or 20, do not have belly fat because they're at their peak hormonally with testosterone and other hormones that are related to keeping your stomach flat. Okay, so those are all the signs of low testosterone. Now let's get into some interesting causes. And I think a lot of people know those causes, and they probably also know that junk food and too much sugar will lower estrogen. And they probably also know that carbohydrates and sugar also decrease testosterone. So I'm not going to cover those. I want to cover some other things that I need to put on your radar so you really understand. The real big cause of lowered testosterone presently is endocrine disruptors. What's an endocrine disruptor? Anything in the environment, chemical-wise, that can mimic estrogen, pesticides, insecticides, herbicides, fungicides. You also have plastics. Microplastics accumulate in your body. One of the biggest primary sources of plastic that we're getting right now is in our water supply. I don't know if you've heard about forever chemicals, but they accumulate in your body and they just don't break down. It takes like 1,000 years for these chemicals to break down. And you can test these in your water supply. And if you actually have city water, you have them in your water. Another big cause of lowered testosterone, a lack of sleep. If you're getting under 7 hours of sleep, I'll guarantee your testosterone is probably pretty low. Because when you don't sleep enough, your cortisol goes up. And cortisol, which is a stress hormone, just kills testosterone. The next point I want to bring up is just stress in general. If you're under chronic stress, you're going to have low testosterone. Another hidden source of decreased testosterone is Wi-Fi and electromagnetic fields from things like this, especially if you're putting these in your pocket. Keep this away from your body, put it on speakerphone, but don't keep it close anywhere in your pockets or even next touching your head. Next cause is phytoestrogens, soy products, soy milk, soy protein isolates, which is probably one of the most common protein in protein powders, as well as those protein bars. That would be also in the vegetarian meats. In practice, I met a guy who was consuming about 1 gallon of soy milk a day. He started developing breast tissue, and get this, with lactation. I am not kidding. The next cause of low T is low zinc. Zinc is so important for testosterone. In order for you to make this steroid hormone, testosterone, It's dependent on zinc for the conversion. And what is it converting? It's converting cholesterol to testosterone with the help of zinc. Cholesterol is also needed as a raw material. So if you're on a cholesterol blocking drug, aka statins, that could be the reason why you have low testosterone. And then we get to the last cause of low T, too much iron. What's interesting about iron is that our body has no mechanism of getting rid of iron. And so what happens is this iron accumulates in your organs and it starts to rust out the organs. If you're anemic, you don't have low iron. You have dysfunctional iron. Not only do you not have enough iron to feed the red blood cells, and that's why you're tired, but you also have an excess of iron inside the cells because it's all locked up because you're deficient in copper. Copper is involved in certain enzymes to help protect the cells from excess iron. A deficiency of copper is really at the bottom of this problem with excess iron. Now I'm going to get into the solutions. The last one is the most important one. Number one, zinc. Number one most important trace mineral to increasing testosterone. Now, the RDAs for zinc are between 8 and 11 milligrams. That is just not enough. You're going to probably need up to maybe 50 milligrams every single day. The problem is if you're going to be taking zinc by itself without being in a base of trace minerals, you're going to end up over time creating a copper deficiency, and then your iron's going to go up, and that can affect your testosterone. You can get a lot of zinc in red meat, oysters, liver, and shellfish. Next nutrient that you need is more magnesium. Magnesium is also another helper mineral to help you convert cholesterol into the steroid testosterone. And a lot of people take the wrong magnesium. You want to take the magnesium glycinate, minimum 400 milligrams per day, but probably a little bit more, maybe 600 or even 800 milligrams per day. And then we get vitamin D. Vitamin D directly helps you increase testosterone. The big point about vitamin D is most people are taking way too little vitamin D. You're going to need as a maintenance dosage at least 10,000 IUs of vitamin D every single day to help you increase testosterone and to help you fix insulin resistance, fix certain things in your liver. Vitamin D is going to be very, very important. Next thing, exercise is going to be vitally important. You're going to find if you do heavy weight training or resistance exercise training or even high intensity interval training paralleled with enough rest, you're going to find that's a potent stimulus of testosterone. Next thing, get a water filter that helps you filter out forever chemicals. There's 3 that I know about. I will put those links down below. Now, the last most important solution, and you're going to like this one, called L. reuteri. L. reuteri is a special microbe that's only in about 4% of the population. 96% of the population doesn't have it anymore because of past antibiotics. This L. reuteri can be cultured and made into kind of like a yogurt type mixture, which is in very, very high amounts. Per half of a cup, it's like 300 billion, and you would consume this every single day. There's an interesting study on rats. They fed these rats L. reuteri in their water, and the group that got L. reuteri had significant increase in the growth of their testicles, even though they were older mice. They have not done this study in humans, but I've been talking to a lot of people that are taking this microbe, and they're noticing a great increased spike in testosterone. Because if you increase the size of the testicle, you will increase testosterone. But not only that, it increases something called oxytocin, probably the most powerful hormone to counter cortisol. You're going to sleep a lot better. You're going to have vivid dreams, more erections during the night, which is an indication of higher testosterone. And so it does all of this, plus there's been reports that it's increasing stem cells for muscle tissue, especially as you age. And I think the next most important video for you to watch is the one I did on iron. So I put that up right here. Check it out.